The worst thing is having your life stuck on repeat. You train hard, you push for progress, but why do breakthrough feel so rare? You know you've got the potential, so you start questioning, am I not working hard enough? You start trying new routines, switching strategies, searching for the quick fix, like your mind is used to. You've changed. Well, duh. Humans are not finished products. Most people don't have a practice to support their growth. Without a practice, progress is slow. Days blur together, your body stiffens, your mind dulls, and your energy fades. Practice can refer to any activity, skill, or discipline to which you aim to develop proficiency or understanding. Yet, for me, a movement practice is unique. Nowadays, there are no real force compelling us to make meaningful efforts. Survival no longer demands it. Instead, we often channel energy into endlessly consuming information. A true practice demands presence. Over time, this transforms the practitioner. It's important, though, not to confuse the playground with the purpose. Practice often looks like problem solving or experimenting, but this is just the surface. Beneath it lies the deeper work, the internal shift, the emotional layers, the dismantling of the false self. The climb is the infinite game. Many people think creating a process is like standing at the top of the mountain, designing a path for others to follow. The truth is, all practitioners are climbing too. The path I'm on isn't the same one you'll take. Each journey leads to a different summit. The false self is a concept that describes a persona that each creates to navigate the world in ways that feel safer. It is a psychological mechanism developed to protect one from vulnerability, often at the expense of their authentic self. Origins of the fake self typically emerge as a response to experiences in childhood. For example, parental expectations. A child learns to suppress their true feelings of desire to gain approval or avoid punishment. Uncovering and understanding the fake self is a crucial step towards reconnect with the authentic self, the part of the person that is true, spontaneous, and deeply aligned with their values and emotions. The fake self isn't inherently bad. However, staying stuck in the fake self can lead to feeling of emptiness. The practice is about shedding the mask we've worn and embracing who we are at our core. The practice must challenge the false self, the version of you that plays it safe. Your practice needs to evolve with you. This is how my practice has evolved over the years, where I started, where I've been through, and where I am now, as a father of a 2-year-old, a 23 years capoeira practitioner, and a 40-year student of physical psychotherapy. When I began, my motivation was simple. I followed my brother, my role model. I wanted to take part in anything he thought was cool. First came the most captivating part of capoeira, acrobatics. I craved the thrill of blending new skills, stealing the spotlight in shows, or maybe I would just wanted status, a way to cement my place in the culture. It reached a point where I achieved extreme feats like double flips and triple twists. I reached the point where progress slowed. Each new skill demanded more effort, more time, more sacrifice. And I realized it didn't serve me as much anymore. So I took another path using acrobatic skills I had already developed in a more playful manner, for example, a backflip on my head. The next phase was about dominance. I turned to takedowns, focused on each one separately. For periods of time, I refined each takedown until I had a high success rate. Looking back, I see it as a way I was defending the status I had built. When I felt I was dominant over most people in the circles I was in, my focus shifted. It became more about Mandinga, how to get people to fall into my traps, how to avoid being seen as a threat, trying to uplift to my nickname, but even then I felt lost. It hit me. Being a better player didn't make it more enjoyable. So I took a step back. I worked my body again, this time with a methodical approach. I trained online under the Ido Portal method for 3 to 4 hours a day, 6 days a week for 6 months. And I discovered my capacity to train was far greater than I ever knew. Next, I realized there was an area of capoeira I haven't explored: dance. So I delved into it, attending weekly content improvisation jams. This brought freedom, creativity, a whole new perspective on movement. I also took Feldenkrais and composition lessons. They taught me a gentle way to organize my body in movement. It was also my first experience of expressing emotion through movement, even before I understood it fully. That period made me rethink how an experienced capoeira player should practice. I realized that improvisation is essential. It's where true mastery lays. It's not just about repeating moves, but about adapting in the moment. So I decided to develop a series of game clear instructions for improvised practice. As I went through these phases, I continued teaching, but something was missing. Capoeira is so vast, yet almost entirely unrecorded. How long will knowledge fade with its carriers? I couldn't let it disappear, so I needed to create a clear pathways for my students, a structure where they can find freedom. I began designing sets of movements and reels, starting with the basics, then moving into Angola, miudinho, and takedowns, consolidating everything I've learned into video courses. Knowledge isn't enough. We need a framework. A hammer needs a house to build in order to be put to use. So I asked myself what was most helpful for my consistency: my training partners, my teachers, the people around me. That's how Companhão was born, an accountability program for capoeira online, accessible to anyone, anywhere. I've learned that simplifying can make the complex more approachable. Take Jiu-Jitsu. Training without the traditional uniform made it less complex for beginners. Now the sport grows like wildfire. Softboards made catching the first wave possible for more people, and now they're hooked in chasing that feeling again. Yes, capoeira is a cultural manifestation that happens in a communal setting, but I found that individual practice, like yoga, is more accessible. It loses capoeira's main aspect of interacting without words with another person, but it can serve as a stepping stone, a way to fall in love with certain aspects of the art, capoeira's movement language, and feeling more comfortable approaching moving with someone else. Over the years, my practice has evolved into something deeply personal, especially because therapy studies evoked a lot of introspective. It's not just about movement anymore. Here's what I use my practice for: emotional modulation, shaping my mood to meet my needs, keeping my body pain-free for capoeira playing; energy regulation, practices for different times of the day; warming up in order to be able to connect to myself so I can connect with other when playing capoeira; emotional awareness, associating emotions with sensations; daily activation, meaning waking up the body and the mind; breathwork, a platform for observing my breath. I've created 12-minute practices for 12 hours of the day that you can also stack for longer sessions. Most people think 1 hour at the gym is enough, or 20 minutes of meditation. But if you want to bring these qualities into life, they have to be constant in your day. 1 hour at the gym doesn't rewire your life. Integration does. Most people wait until they're forced to change. The online program gives you structured movement practices designed to reconnect you with your body. Choose today.